Was it the voice? Was it the fire burning in me?
Hello friends, welcome back to the channel, or if you are new here, welcome. Today I have a whole bunch of stuff that I am trying to get to and jam pack into this video. If you saw my previous video, I said I had a whole bunch of stuff to do this week and I wanted to bring you guys along for it, so that is what we're getting to today. We have some schoolwork to do. I need to get started on dinner because it is going to be simmering in the pot on the stove all day long, so I'm wanting to get that started now. If you've been here a while, this recipe will be not new to you at all because I make this quite frequently. This is one of my kids' favorite things to have, and this is my go-to for tacos. It is so easy to do. Tonight we're going to be doing like a Chipotle style, pick your own, make your own taco type of night. So I am throwing in my pot. I did some olive oil. I got the pot really hot and I'm going to put in chicken. Now I'm doing on the bone because I let it simmer in a broth for several hours. They get very nice and juicy and they come right off the bone, and it makes a really great broth. So anyway, I am going to first put them in this oil and cook them on both sides before I put in the seasoning and the broth. Then I'll let it cook low and slow. I'll debone it a little later, and I actually will save these bones to boil again and make a really nice chicken bone broth from. I am seasoning the chicken very, very well with a bunch of different taco style seasonings. If you have a taco seasoning packet, you can use that as well, but I use a lot of cumin and chili powder, garlic, onion powder, stuff like that. I usually will also throw on a can of Rotel or salsa. Today I do have salsa, but I wanted to try just using a can of diced tomatoes. I'm wanting to use the salsa a little later on, so I'm using diced tomatoes, and then I'll cover it with broth, put the lid on, and let it simmer for several hours. We are just doing leftovers for lunch today. Theo has some leftover sourdough pizza. There was only 2 slices, so he's having that. Lincoln is having some leftover potato soup from the weekend when we had a get-together. Someone made crockpot potato soup. It is really, really good. I just tried it and I'm like, oh, you know what? I need to get the recipe for that because that is super, super good. But anyway, he's having the rest of that. There was only a small amount of that, a small amount of pizza, so they're gonna finish that off, and then the older kids will probably just make something quick and easy, and that is gonna kind of be the theme for today's lunches. The kids are kind of wrapping up school. They're doing lunch right now, and then shortly after lunch they'll be wrapping up school. Theo, he's already finished his he's in 1st grade, so his stuff goes a lot quicker than everybody else's. Lincoln, he just has his language arts test that he's going to be doing, so he has that to finish up and then he'll be done for the day. And then my older 2, they have Algebra 1 together, so they often will work together, and if I'm not doing anything and they need help, I will usually sit down. Even though I'm not the greatest at algebra, I have actually gotten better now doing it with them. So it's kind of funny, we usually will sit down and do algebra all together. So they still have that to finish up for the day, and then I think we're just about done. And then something that I have been working on this morning, I saw a chore chart. It was like a rotational chore chart for the kids. I saw it on a different video that I have not finished, so I'm kind of just slowly working on it, but I found it very interesting how they rotated and kind of like the chores that they had for their kids. So it was something that I took note of briefly while I was helping the kids and also trying to, watch this video. And so I'm thinking about trying to work it to our benefit, to work at our house and kind of seeing how that goes. So something that I have been working on this morning is a new chore chart for the kids to kind of make it easier for me and my husband and just overall everybody, and not still have like too much to do, but enough to where we're spreading it very evenly and all working together to get things done. The chicken has been cooking for some time, so I turned it off, and I'm gonna see if it's shreddable. It should be good, yeah. So I'm gonna put this in another, like on a platter or plate or something to cool off so I can debone it, and then I'll throw it back in here. We're going to do like a Chipotle style taco dinner. So we'll have kind of just a bunch of different sides, and people can make their own burrito bowls or tacos, whatever they're wanting to do. But this will be one of the things that we serve, is this taco chicken mixture that we made. So this is something that we love having. It is such an easy thing, and it cooks all day, and it is really, really delicious. So I'll debone this once it's cooled down, add it back into the juice. We often will use the juice to like dip our tacos in, and that is really, really good. So we'll use it for that, but it adds a really great flavor to the tacos. So like I said, I'm going to take the chicken out and I'm going to let it cool in this casserole dish. While it is cooling, I am going to start tidying up the house, not doing anything special or deep cleaning at all. This is kind of just something that needs done every day. So after school, after lunch, but before I really get into dinner, I like to go around and tidy up the house, kind of getting it put back together from the day. Usually during school, it can be kind of chaotic because we'll do breakfast and lunch, and then also we're trying to do school and we have different classes, and I'm kind of ping-ponging around between kids. So during that half of the day, usually it's pretty busy and it gets kind of chaotic, and we're not always picking up after ourselves. So usually after school wraps up and before I kind of start the evening with dinner and stuff like that, I like to go around and kind of just get everything nice and tidy, put everything back in its place, wipe things down, and get ready for the whole dinner rush. I know it's already midweek, but I feel like I'm still like slowly picking up from the weekend, which is crazy because I did clean before everybody gets here. And if you have people over often, you know how it is, where it's like you clean before everybody comes over usually, or at least a good tidy. And then when everybody leaves, it's like a mess again. You need to clean all over again, probably even worse. So that is what I'm like still finding that I'm doing, because I just have not had the time to fully do a deep clean and go through and everything. So like, and it's funny because we always have so much stuff left at our house. So like this crock pot is not mine. I cleaned it, and I always put stuff in our front closet, like our coat closet by our front door, because we do not store coats there. I cannot speak. Since moving here, the weather, we do have like icy days, and we do have like snowstorms and stuff, but it is so much warmer down here for the most part, so we all just have our winter coats in our closets. And luckily for us, we all have a really good sized closet in all of our bedrooms, so we keep all of our shoes and all of our coats and jackets in our bedroom closets. Therefore, we don't really need this front closet, and it often is just kind of like I have cleaning supplies in there, because that is one thing I don't have. I don't have like a cleaning closet, and like our linen closet is very, very little. It's very, very skinny, and there is absolutely no room for like cleaning supplies. So I often will use our front closet by our front door. Like it holds my mop bucket and my mop, our vacuums, and then I will also put like supplies that people leave behind. So the crock pot went in there. I have, there was like a cooler bag that someone left, so I put that in there. That is usually where we keep all of the stuff that people leave. We also have like a basket in there, because we are the house that a lot of people, we have a pool, so a lot of people come during the summer to swim, And so a lot of times, like my mom, for instance, she'll leave her swimsuit or a towel, and then it just gets put in there, and she knows every time she comes over, she already has a swimsuit. She doesn't have to bring it back and forth, and she knows exactly where it is. So anyway, that is where I tend to put everything that everybody leaves. I put it over there. But I am, of course, getting to dishes. It never ends over here. I feel like I do dishes in every single one of these videos, and that is just life. The dishes are never ending, especially in a kitchen that you're constantly using. We have all kinds of science experiments in this kitchen, and we use it for at least 3 meals a day. So there are always dishes. I also am trying to get to all of this stuff, not only because I want to get it done before dinner, but I am trying really hard to get it done quickly so I can start on a project that I have been wanting to do for so long now. I am wanting to start doing my master bathroom. And it's going to be a slow process because that's just kind of how my life is right now. It's very busy, and I can do things in little spurts. I'm not going to be able to get to the whole thing right now, and that's okay. But I am wanting to get it started. So I feel like the first step in that is painting it. And I keep saying that I want to do it as a surprise for my husband. Not necessarily, like, he knows I'm painting it and he knows the color. He was with me when I bought it. But I'm just wanting to do it myself and like start it and be like, okay, here we are. Let's keep going. Let's keep the ball rolling. So anyway, I am wanting to do that, and I'm wanting to get the house kind of reset quickly so then I have time to do that. And that is the whole point of the whole like working on this bathroom. Is I'm just going to do it in my spare time when I have some time, when I'm feeling up to it. It's something that I want to do slowly, just so I'm not feeling like I'm forcing it all, this whole remodel in one big thing. That I'm just not into that right now. I know that that is, you know, how a lot of people do it, and that's totally fine, but I'm just too busy in this stage of life, and I just don't have the time or finances to really dedicate to that kind of project right now. So I'm going to do it a little bit at a time, make sure it's exactly how I want, and that's just how we're going to do it. So anyway, I'm wanting to start on the paint today. I'm getting my sourdough going. I have 2 now. I started the other one just from, you know, the one that I had. And if you notice, I am not measuring anything because I have noticed that over the years of doing sourdough, I do a lot better when I'm not measuring it and I just do it by eyeballing it. Like I think it does best with consistency. So I look for a certain consistency, and that is my goal whenever I am making it every day, or, you know, I don't do it every day. So every couple of days, whenever I am mixing the sourdough starter, I'm looking for consistency, and I don't measure it or anything like that. And that works really, really well for me. On the note of sourdough, so I have been doing a lot more sourdough baking recently, and I'm curious if anybody follows or what is her channel? Farmhouse on Boone. I think her name is Lisa Bass. She has several, like she does a podcast, she does a blog, she has a YouTube channel. She is really great. Even my kids like watching her. She's very interesting, and I love watching her too. She has a book, and I'm curious if anybody has that book because I'm kind of wanting to get it. I think it would be really good to help while I am still learning a lot about sourdough. So I'm curious if anybody has the book. Do you like it? Have you learned a lot from it? I'm still doing very basic stuff, but yeah, I think I'm wanting to order the book because I think it would really, really help. I am starting on some beans. I have some pinto beans that are just from the can. They're not dried, just because that's kind of how it worked. I got canned ones. So I'm dicing up some onions in large chunks. I'll put them in some olive oil and cook them, kind of char them, and then I will add in the other ingredients to cook slowly. You did see me put all of my scraps from my onions and my chicken bones in that plastic bag, and then I placed it in the freezer. I like doing that and then having it for a big stock pot of broth later on. I'll go ahead and put the recipe for these beans down below. It does use dried beans, and a much larger quantity than what I used. So I had 2 cans of pinto beans. I drained and washed them before I put them into this mixture, and then I am putting all this ingredients in. Again, I'll have those listed down below in the description box, but if you are making a small quantity like I am, you'll just have to adjust them because it is for a much larger quantity. I am working on getting dinner done still. We're doing a Chipotle style like taco night, so we're gonna do a bunch of different sides and stuff like that. And I figured I would go ahead and just do it now. I wanted to go in and paint my bathroom specifically while my husband was at work to kind of surprise him and just do it myself. So I feel like it was not gonna take long, but I also feel like it probably is going to. I feel like I always underestimate how long it's going to take to do something like that. So it's a very, very small bathroom. And I feel like there's really not a ton of like wall space and stuff that needs painted because we have like a giant mirror over one of the walls. So I feel like it's not going to take very long, but also I'm sure it will. So anyway, he's going to be leaving soon though. I've just put it off too long. I've had too much stuff going on today. So I think what I'm going to do is finish up like the sides and stuff for dinner. I've been slowly working on it throughout the day just to try to make it a little less chaotic for dinner time, and I kind of like how that's been going. So I think I'm just going to finish those up, and then I'll go in the bathroom and like clean it up and like get everything out, get everything ready to paint, and kind of have just a nice relaxing evening. And then tomorrow when he goes to work and I get up and I have a little bit more time and availability to do that, I think I'll go and paint then. So I will include that in this video still, but I'm kind of running out of time today. So I think I'm just gonna push it to tomorrow. Anyway, I'm going to make some guacamole right now. I want to make some pico de gallo, but I can't remember if I have all the ingredients or not. So it might not be, you know, fully pico de gallo, but it's gonna be close. So it will work. I'm gonna get out all of the ingredients for tacos and set them out, and people can either do, you know, like burrito bowls or a burrito. I might do hard shell tacos too. I'm not really sure. I kind of want just like a whole variety of things. I think the kids will like being able to choose and make their own stuff. They could do like a taco salad or a burrito bowl. So anyway, I think they will have a lot of fun with that. And so we're gonna do, you know, a variety of stuff. And then also it makes a lot of leftovers, which is really good for lunches. I mean, you can even do like breakfast style stuff. So there's times where we will do like eggs and stuff, and then we'll include like the taco meat or, you know, whatever it may be. We might do like potatoes or rice with some taco meat and then like eggs on top. That is fun twist on things sometimes. So anyway, this will create a good amount of leftovers. That will be nice for the next few days for our lunches. Anyway, so I have the chicken already done in the pot. I showed you that. I already shredded it and put it into the juices. So now it's just sitting there and ready for us to have dinner. I'm going to make some turkey meat. I'm going to cook some rice. I want to do like a cilantro lime rice, but I have 2 kids that they have the soap gene, and so it's like we can't have cilantro anymore. So I think I'll do some kind of take on like a lime garlic rice or something. I'm not sure. So we'll experiment a little bit with that, but that's what we're gonna do. Like I said, maybe a pico de gallo. I have some pinto beans I'm going to mash up for like refried beans. But anyway, so let's get started on that. And then hopefully we will have some time before he gets home to go into the bathroom and clear it all out, get it nice and ready to paint tomorrow. So it's funny because I did say multiple times and even in other videos that I was kind of like surprising him, but you know, he was with me when picking the paint and he's fully aware of us redoing the bathroom and everything like that. But it's so funny to me because so I did get a chance to go in and clear stuff out before he got home this evening, and you'll see that coming up here. But it's so funny because after a couple of hours of being home and he was just kind of sitting there and he's like, "So what are you doing in the bathroom?" It was like he had no idea. So technically this could, you know, be a surprise actually for him, because even though he was with me for every step of the way and he's fully aware of what I'm doing and what we're doing with this bathroom, he was really like clueless. He had no idea that it was happening. So anyway, that was kind of funny. I thought that he was just totally oblivious to all of it, and it basically is a surprise then. I've made this guacamole a dozen times. It's very, very popular around here. Most of my relatives ask for me to make this. So I've made it a bunch of times on my channel, but just very quickly, it is a couple of avocados that I sliced up and then mashed into a bowl. I did reserve one of the pits to put in. It just helps with like the browning. It doesn't brown as much. I do know that I did not use all of those onions. I'm going to put them aside in case anybody wants to put them on tacos. I kind of thought it was a little bit too much to put in the guacamole. So I mashed up the avocados. I put in some of the onions that I diced up. I'm going to put in one tomato that I diced up. I put in a little bit of chili powder, garlic powder, and onion powder, and then a dash of lemon juice. It is better with like a real lemon, but I actually do think I ended up getting out the real lemon. I have lemon juice. You could use that too. You could also use a lime. Oh, that's what I used. I used a lime. So because I was making this like lime rice, I went ahead and used the other portion for the guacamole because you really don't do too much of it. So I used some of it in the rice, and then the other half of it I used in the guacamole. And then I will add a little dollop of mayo in the guacamole and mix it up, and it is one of the best ones. You can, and I often do, I just don't have any jalapenos. I will often slice up really small jalapenos. I'll also take the seeds out if other people are eating them, or kids, or you know, whatever. That way it's not too spicy, but if you like a kick, you can, you know, keep some of the seeds in. But I will dice those up really small. And if you do not have the soap gene and you can eat cilantro, that is really good in it too. So I've got the rice going in one pot on the stove. I am mashing up the beans that have been cooking low and slow for maybe an hour or two on the stove, and I'm going to dice up just a couple of toppings for tacos. I'll put those on the side and just kind of throwing everything together really quickly for dinner. My hopes was to have dinner pretty much done by the time my husband got home, and then we can kind of have a really chill evening. I usually do taco night once a week, at least, sometimes twice. My family really loves tacos, and I try to mix it up. So like last week, I think it was, we did taco soup, and another week I'll do enchiladas. Another week I'll just do, you know, like some plain tacos. I really try to mix it up and do a variety of things, but generally we do one type of, you know, taco style meal every week, at least, because it is, you know, one of my family's favorites. So that is what we did, and we just did kind of, you know, do make your own, and that actually went over really well with the kids. So now that I have all the sides done and my husband is still not home, we went into the bathroom to take everything off of the shelves, get everything moved. I don't end up wiping these shelves down just because we're actually going to be taking them down completely. So we're going to go in, remove everything, so it will be a lot easier to paint. Okay, so I cleaned those off. We're going to take those down I think I need, yeah. So I'll have to get a special drill bit for some of them. So I'm gonna wait to do that. But we're actually going to be just putting a picture here. It's really hard for me because the toilet's right here. It's hard for me to like reach these things. When we first moved in, there was a medicine cabinet here, and we moved it to the kids' bathroom. And then we put these shelves up, and it's just, I don't know, it's just kind of a pain where they are. So anyway, we're gonna take this down and we're going to be putting just a picture there after we paint. And then this was here when we moved in. It was actually a different color and we sanded it and just left it how it was. But all it is a piece of wood with like some knobs, and that was there when we moved in, and we just put it right back up. And it's been nice for our towels. You know, they're right there next to the shower, so it's easy to grab. But what I'm gonna do is let me see if I can explain this. So here we're going to do somewhat of a medicine cabinet. I saw this picture, and if I can find it, I'll put it, you know, in this video right here. But it is going to be very shallow. I don't want it sticking out from the wall because I don't want it getting in the way of the toilet or anything like that. So we're going to do a very shallow medicine cabinet, which will be good for like my husband's shave oils and, you know, various things that we have, like let me see, just like face oils, beard oils, you know, anything like that. So it'll be good for stuff like that. Nothing huge. Like, I put some of the stuff over here because I need to find a better spot for it. But like, for instance, like a scrub, this is going to be too thick for it. But, you know, for my husband's like beard oil and stuff, it will fit perfectly. So anyway, we're going to do that, but it's going to be built by my husband because I saw this idea online and I thought it was so pretty. But basically we're going to be taking a frame. It's going to be a gold frame, and then he is building like this shelf unit, and we'll put the frame on it with hinges. So it'll be like a little cabinet. I'm hoping it looks kind of antique-ish. And anyway, we already have the frame. We already have all that. So I just need to take this down so we can paint and then put that up. I don't have the frame or picture for this, so that will take some time. And again, this whole project is going to take some time because I have paint, but I'm a little nervous about the color. So anyway, we will see. But for the time being, that's what we're going to get to. I just want to slowly be able to start this project so I can maybe, you know, get the ball rolling on it. So we're going to take this stuff down. We will paint. Eventually, I will get new lights for in here. These are the ones that were here when we moved in. And I don't know if you can tell, but they used to be gold. And then the other owners are kind of weird. So anyway, they did some odd things. They painted them kind of black, but like not very well. So we're also a little scared at what we're gonna find because we have found things in the past that is really weird whenever we pull off like big lights. We found like holes and stuff behind these. So we are a little nervous to see what we're going to find when we take those off. But eventually we will deal with that. I also want to frame this mirror. We do have plans to change out the top, and we actually do have a top, but we need like new faucets and stuff like that. So we are not that far. It will be a slow process, but I at least want to get the ball rolling. We have all the fixings for tacos, so I have it all kind of laid out, and we're gonna come in here and just make them all ourselves however we want it. If we want burrito bowls or tacos or burritos, however we want to do it. I'm just gonna let the kids kind of go crazy. So I did turkey meat, and it's all seasoned up like taco meat, so I got that going. This is the chicken we made. Oh, it's fogging up. Here's the chicken we made earlier, so that's there. Now over here, we have tortillas, hard shells. These are the beans that I made. I did some corn because I think Theo was gonna want corn. And then to kind of mix it up a little bit, and it turned out really, really good. I just added some salt and chili powder. So that was kind of a nice little mix of that, and I think he'll really like that. Cut up some veggies in case anybody wants that. We have not tried this kind. We usually buy, I don't even know what brand it is, but we buy the other one. We saw this one next to it this week, so we went ahead and got that. Some cheese. Here is the rice. Now I did not, like I said, I can't do cilantro, but I did add lime and some garlic, and it does taste really good. I would like it more if it had cilantro, but you know, it is what it is. I made some guacamole. That's that. Put out some different things. I did not do the pico de gallo because I did not have all the ingredients. So I went ahead and just did some salsa, if people want to put that on, and sour cream. Anyway, this is dinner. We're gonna go ahead and dig in. So we had dinner. I am picking up, and I swear it never ends. It never ends. Just when you think like, it's always when like you're like, oh, I'm gonna have a nice relaxing evening. It's like telling yourself you're gonna go to bed early, and then like you stay up and just you read a book, or you're like scrolling through TikTok or something. And anyway, so it is always something, and I swear so. I'm picking up and thinking, you know what, this is gonna be great. I'm gonna go and sit down, and then my husband comes in, and we're talking about how he since Saturday evening has had really bad back pain. And it literally came from nowhere. He does work on construction sites, and his job is dependent on physical labor. So however, it happened over the weekend, so it had nothing to do with that. But anyway, so it's midweek now, and he's like, nothing's helping. And so at this point, I'm cleaning up and getting the house, you know, kind of put to bed, and he goes, I think I have a kidney stone or like a kidney infection or something. And I'm like, what? Oh my gosh. Like, he's saying that it's so severe and none of the medicine is helping, and, you know, all this stuff. And I'm like, oh my gosh, do we need to, you know, quickly, you know, go to like the ER or something? Like, with as much pain as he's saying he's in, I was all thinking at this point, I'm like, oh my gosh, okay, well, there goes the night. I'm going to be going and spending the night at the ER because, you know, he's got something going on. So I was quickly trying to pick up. Luckily, though, so I ended up contacting one of my really good friends. She is a nurse over at the hospital we would have to be going to. And so she was kind of telling us some stuff that we could do to kind of figure it out. And that's kind of what he prefers to do anyway. So we tried a couple of things, and shockingly, he woke up this morning and he was like a whole new person. So I'm assuming that's not what it is. It's kind of, we're just going to monitor it and figure it out. But yeah, that was kind of the rest of the evening, was trying to figure out like if we needed to bring him in, if he was going to be okay, if it was just like a back problem. We weren't really sure, and we were trying to figure it out with one of our friends. And thankfully today he is doing so much better, and I hope that it was, you know, just something that he did, you know, kind of tweaked his back a little. But we will see, and I will keep you updated. I know my mom, I know several people that struggle with like kidney stones, and they relate that pain to like childbirth. I have never had one, but man, I cannot imagine. I know several people that have had them, that have struggled with multiple of them. Even I have friends that had them surgically removed, and the way they explain those, I do not wish those on anyone. It sounds terrible. So I really hope he does not have that going on, because that will just be a whole mess that I don't wish that on anyone. So anyway, that was our evening. It's always interesting, always something going on. Now, like I said, I did not really have enough time, so I did get up extra early this morning, and I tried to tackle some of the bathroom. I wanted to get some of these holes filled before the kids got up. So then that way I would have plenty of time to let them dry while we were doing breakfast and getting ready for the day. So I'm getting these holes filled in the bathroom. I did take out one of the lights because right at this shot, it was blinding the camera. So you will see that one of the lights is undone, and that is why I'll end up putting it back. Now it is also really hard to see in this bathroom, the actual paint color. It does not look like a terrible color on camera. However, I promise you, it really is. It is like a yellowy color. And this bathroom in particular is very hard because the lights. There's no windows, so it is just the lights, and they are very awkward, and it makes the paint look really weird. We have tried multiple different paints, and they always look really weird, and that's why I'm so nervous about the paint in here, because it looks really nice. It's very beautiful, but I'm nervous it's not going to look so nice once we have it on the wall. Okay, so I got the holes patched. I'm not sure if I'll have to go over it again or kind of sand it, or not sure. So I have it for right now complete, and then when it dries, I'll just kind of reassess the situation and see what it needs. I'm planning on redoing these like I did the kitchen. If you haven't been here very long, so the people that owned our house before us, they were flippers, and they did some weird things. We're constantly finding really weird things around the house, and this is kind of one of the things. So what they did was they took these, and these are like really nice metal, like antique-y ones. They're expensive. I've looked at replacing them. Not all of them. Like this one I think is a normal one. Actually, that's metal too. So I don't know. Anyway, they covered them in this decorative duct tape, and I cannot understand why. We have this switch on there because we hardly ever mess with this. This is actually from like 2 years ago when our son was in the hospital and we were staying because he was having a surgery. My husband did not want people using this switch. I think it goes to like the heater or something. I don't know. But he didn't want them using this for whatever reason while we were gone, like the kids and the people that were staying with our kids. So he just kind of electrical taped these so people wouldn't, touch them. Anyway, but for the kitchen, I had never done before, but the outlets were like this in the kitchen. Some of them still are. I actually might switch those when I do these. But they were like this. I peeled the tape off, I cleaned them really well, and then I brushed them gold. So I did like an antique gold with, you do black first, and then you do a thin coat of gold over top. I believe that's what I'm going to do. They even painted the outlets. Can you tell? So they even painted this black. They painted the light switch, those black, but they didn't paint this one. I don't know. They did some weird stuff. But anyway, so I'm going to also fix that. I have to pull those off to paint anyway, so I'm going to take the tape off. I hope it comes off as easy as it did in the kitchen. And then I'll clean them and paint them and then put them back on. It is holding up really well in the kitchen, so that's why I'm actually going to do that, because if you have ever had to buy these, especially the ones that like aren't the little plastic ones, they can be expensive. They can also be a huge pain to match all the different ones that you have, and we have a ton of really odd ones, so I just know it would be a huge pain to replace them, and that's why I've like ignored them for as long as we've lived here, because I haven't wanted to deal with it. Anyway, so I have those patched. I'm going to take these off. I forgot to take these out, so I have to go and get the drill to take those out, and then I'm going to patch those. I think I'm going to leave like the lights and stuff on and just paint around them, because I don't have any lighting in this room, and like this is all I have. So I think that's what I'm going to do. And also we're going to leave those until I find some new ones, so I'll just leave them and I always keep a little bit of paint, or I keep like what it is, the paint is that I'm using. So I'll just fix it when we get new lights. Also, I'm leaving the mirror up because I'm very scared to touch it. I'm nervous at how they applied it. So I'm going to leave that. I'm too scared to touch that. I'll paint around that and around the lights. So yeah. Oh, I also have to take this off the wall, which that's just one screw. Okay, so I'm wondering, should I paint that also, like the gold? Give me your thoughts on that, because I've gone back and forth. I think they painted it black. I don't know, it's got like paint on it. So anyway, but that is where I'm at. It is still very early and the kids have not gotten up yet. They're probably going to start getting up any moment. So I'm going to try to fill in what I have so it can dry, and then I'll start painting. We are just about done with today's video, but I am going to quickly wipe off the walls, get any cobwebs, any debris, anything like that, just wipe down so I can start nice and fresh with a clean wall when I'm painting. I will show you just very briefly the paint that I did choose, and I will start painting, but I am going to be saving the entire project for another video. Today's video was just too long, so I will be sharing that another time. Again, I'm still unsure, and I'm always like this with paint. I'm always unsure of how it's going to be, and I knew I was choosing a bolder color, but you know, I like to sit with it for a minute and really think about it and decide. So that is what I'll do, and I will be sharing that in an upcoming video. And if you've been here a while, you know that my husband and I, we painted our master bedroom. So this is our master bath. We painted the master bedroom several months ago, and we did a really, really dark color, and we were unsure about it, and we actually grew to really like it. However, now having this color right next to it, we think we have to adjust it in some way, which we knew that we were going to have to do it, but again, I'm so back and forth that we were just really taking our time and really trying to figure out what we want. So we will be going in and doing some of our master bedroom after we figure out our master bathroom. But this is all I have today. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your week, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.
Lonely faces say you